everybody, and welcome back to the Up the Guts podcast. Joining as always is your host, Tricky, and my co-host, Will. How are you, mate?
I'm very well today, Trent, and we have some more guests lined up.
Yes, we do. The returning, obviously, they were on earlier. If you guys have been following the podcast, it's Dos and D. How are we, boys?
Mate, never better. It's always a pleasure to come to the Up the Guts studio with a new co-host. So good to connect with you, Will. But Trickster, as always, thanks for having us.
Not a problem. And
I'll jump in there as well. I was like, oh, Steve, you're just going to run with that? No, go on, well, mate. Go on, well. Pleasure to be back. Happy to be back in the Up the Gut studio.
And what's been going on, like, day in the life for you guys now since you last were on?
You know what? It's not that glamorous. We spent today with about a 2 or 3 hour planning meeting, wasn't it, Dos? We were quite busy this morning, and then just a lot of admin stuff. So, but mate, it's quite busy. We were on the Gold Coast, 2 weeks ago for some content, and we've kind of got a business going based off the back of what we've done with Dos and D. So that's keeping us busy, but that's about us. Anything I'm missing?
No, I think that's it. Yeah.
What do you find not most challenging, but like difference with recording? Do you find different recording interstate, or like even like some of the setups? I think I saw. I don't know if you know Jammer and Dylan. They said in Melbourne it's a lot harder to get a studio than when if it's over interstate.
Yeah, so last year I was living on the Gold Coast for about 8 months, so we kind of had to do that. And in the midst of it, D would fly up every, say, 5 or 6 weeks. I'd fly down every 5 or 6 weeks. And we didn't have too much trouble finding a place interstate. So Queensland was all right. We were in Brisbane for a little bit, went up to Brisbane, interviewed Josh Dunkley, Jeff Horn, a few other people. And we actually found a couple of different studios. But now that I'm back in Melbourne full time, we've actually found ourselves our own studio, our own exclusive studio, which we rent out every month, and we batch all our episodes in one go. And yeah, we're pretty lucky. We've got that, and it seems to work for us. And it's really central for the guests. I think that's really important as well, is finding somewhere that, when you're inviting guests on, it's not too, difficult for them to get to. Because, when we were living at home doing it, we found it. We weren't sure if guests were going to come or didn't know where it was. But, it's been good.
Do you, how do I put this? I always want to ask you guys, obviously with the new success, obviously getting a lot more followers, a lot more traction. How do I put this? Do you think either of you could do it without the other? Or do you think you guys complement each other, if that makes sense?
I think we complement each other. I think we always said, like, our story is when we started Dos and D, we were actually going to go out on our own, initially separately. And then we kind of had the same idea, same dream, I suppose. So we're like, well, let's just combine strengths and go together. And now I think with the workload and the amount of even just, like purely just editing, like we split that pretty 50-50. And now with the business and everything else that goes on, like there's just so much to do that I think without the other one would be in a bit of strife. Like even when you have to, for whatever reason, if one of us is away and you got to, take on the majority of the work, it's like a lot of workload. So I think, and I think the way our dynamic works, and now we've kind of shifted more into away from PD or personal development into more entertainment, you definitely need somebody else. And I think just based on the chemistry we have, it'd be very difficult to do it solo. What do you think?
Yeah, I think a key element of growing any type of like brand or profile online, it's more so about you than the guest. So for us, it should be more about Will and Tricky, the Up the Guts boys, than Dos and D coming on. And that's kind of what we found is we want to grow Dos and D, and it's great having guests come on, and we love chatting to guests, and that's the point of what we do, because we love to learn, we love to hear stories, and love to have a laugh and provide, an entertaining show for whoever listens. But yeah, we very early on, we were so focused on getting big guests because we're like, oh, that's going to grow us. But then we slowly worked out our dynamic, our chemistry, like you boys will be as well. Your chemistry will slowly be growing. And then you kind of realize, it doesn't matter who comes on. Everyone's coming to listen because it's us.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think it's a good point. Like one thing I learned is we were the same. We're like, when we get this big name guest, our show's going to explode and we're going to be away. Where we had big name guests and we get a spike of listeners for the week, but it didn't grow us. It wasn't until we got kind of more consistent. And now, if you look at our downloads week to week, if it's just the two of us, which we do once a month, it's around the same amount of downloads as having a guest. Like, yes, there's spikes occasionally, but most of the time it's pretty consistent. I think that's a key element.
Do you enjoy doing the ones by just you two as well?
I reckon they're nearly my favourite.
Yep.
Yeah. I don't know if you've listened to any of those, but yeah, Yeah, well, essentially all it is it's almost like once a month, Dee and I will sit down, just us two, and we'll come up with, we typically do like 3 or 4 segments, and we'll come up with a theme for each segment. So it could be, we find some questions on Reddit about, I don't know,
There's one markup day stories on
yeah,
this.
exactly. So the timing of the year or whatever it is, like you guys, it could be, if it's cricket season, we'll get a cricketer in. It's almost like you would think like that with our uncut episodes. And then that's our chance as well to really banter back and forth. And actually we found that those episodes, the short clips, tend to do pretty well. So I think that is proof in the pudding for other creators and other podcasters that you don't necessarily have to get guests on to go viral as well. If you've got a decent story, a key element of it too is it's just you being yourself. Like when you share a funny story, like it could be a story about, we've shared stories about sex, about relationships, and real stupid funny stories that I guarantee you boys have gone through the same thing. But when you share it, people relate to it and they go, shit, that's hilarious, that happened to me. Whereas a lot of people are too scared to even think about sharing that story. And that's why we like doing those uncuts.
There's definitely some of those points where I've sat there and gone, do I say it? Do I not? Do I share it? And it's just like sometimes I just go, you know what? Fuck it. Just put it out there. What's the worst can happen?
Well, I think the last time we came on, I reckon you told a little story the weekend of you got a bit lucky, trickster. Lucky trickster.
Yeah, I remember that.
How was the weekend that's just been? Any luck? Is it Dawson D?
Oh, actually, weekend's just been. Didn't get lucky, but I went out twice, and then so
anything?
No, nothing this time.
What about you, Will?
Nah, nothing for me. I've been working a lot recently.
Yeah, okay.
Haven't had many weekends free.
City boy though, you're in the thick of it too.
Yeah, should be getting out more than I should.
You're working the Saturday nights though a lot, aren't you?
Yeah, work. So with how my work goes, I go 2 cycles of 28 days on day shift, so that's 12 till 8, and then I do 2 cycles of 28 days night shift, which is 8 p.m. to 4 a.m.
Jeez.
So it's a bit hard to sort of sometimes like get home from work 8:30ish, then get ready, go out, pre-up and go out. And a lot of my work is Friday, Saturday, Sunday nights at the moment. So
saving coin.
It's a bit hard.
Right.
Well, Saturday night at Club Retro, mate. That's have you heard of Club Retro?
I have not actually.
You need to get there.
Get down there, and guarantee a good time.
We'll meet you there.
That's what we'll say.
Whereabouts is it?
Yeah, where is it?
Smack bang in the city.
Okay.
Bit older demographic, but sometimes
when you say
talent's
older,
there.
not crazy older,
not crazy older, just
late mid 20s, late 30s.
Yeah, just like a bit of a boogie and a good time. And
Okay.
just wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Just trust us on this one. And next time we come on, we'll ask you.
We'll have to review it one night.
Yeah, I reckon we do. What's the go-to drink on the night out?
Oof.
Oh, that's an easy one.
I know his.
Dos introduced me a few years ago. So when we initially we moved in together in Hawthorn, and we got about 2 weekends, and then old mate Dan Andrews shut the joint down again. So we were basically locked up for the next 6 to 9 months. But on the first night out, we had no furniture in the house. It was just basically us and the beds and everything, and we decided let's give it a real crack. Now, Dos introduced me to this drink called a cheesecake. Does that ring a bell?
Have you heard of that?
No.
So that is a vanilla Galliano and squash.
Like solo.
Okay.
And we actually refer to it as mother's milk, and it goes down an absolute treat, and it's phenomenal. We probably only want about 2 of them, bit sweet, but that's a go-to, mate. That's just to really kind of get that bit of Dutch courage. What about you, Dos? What's your go-to?
I was always a beer drinker, so if I'm drinking beer, it's always a Great Northern because I'm typically I don't want to wake up too hungover. So anything like a vitamin B or a Melbourne bitter, I'm not like that's not my go. Typically a mother's milk or a cheesecake, or I actually don't mind Canadian Club. That's my go-to.
Yeah,
What about you boys? Go on.
We like to go just the standard vodka Red Bulls a lot of time on the night out. But Sunday night, I was at the Lead Beater Hotel in Richmond watching Blake Pavey and Luke Kidgel do a live show in that.
Okay.
And I started, what did I start on? I don't know what, it was really hot. That was the Sunday was 38 or whatever.
yeah.
So I was like, this is beer weather. So I was just having schooners of Great Northern that night. And then my mate's not a big beer drinker. He's Jack Joe, and it was Jack and Coke. So after about 7 or 8 beers, I was just like, I need a bit more of a different taste. So I got on the Jack and Cokes with him.
Yeah, I actually saw a video on the old TikTok today. Vodka Red Bulls, probably one of the worst drinks for you.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, not good for the heart.
And also, apparently, in terms of hangovers, sugar is the worst thing, apparently.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so maybe go the sugar-free Red Bull Trickster.
Maybe the
By the way,
sugar-free-
Tricksters, you're looking fit.
Thank you.
Looking
Thank
very,
you.
very fit, I must say. Looking very sharp.
Thank you.
You have been hitting the gym a fair bit lately.
Yeah, I have. And you're a vodka. What? If it's not a vodka Red Bull, what is it for you?
I've shifted more to the vodka sodas.
Yeah, good
At the
man.
moment.
Calorie counter.
Yeah,
it's-
not even for that. I just feel like you feel better the next day.
Yeah,
that's a fair
100%.
call.
Yeah.
If I'm going to beer, I'll probably either VB or Carlton Draft.
There you go.
Golden draft.
Yeah.
There you go. So for all the listeners.
Not everyone's favourite.
Well, I would go, if I could, I'd go the vodka raspberries, but I always get given shit for it. But I reckon it tastes the best.
Or the
I can get behind that. Or like a
Centauri.
vodka Sunrise.
The 196s.
Yeah, yeah.
They're good as well.
He's a 196 fan.
Yeah.
Which
Only the
grape?
lemon ones though.
Oh, see, I love the grape.
Nah, I can't do the. Remember when you gave me the grape at your house that time? I'm like, nah, this can't
Yeah,
be
you
happening.
tipped it out.
I don't think I tipped it
Come
out.
on,
No, but I'm pretty sure you gave it back.
Yeah, I was just like, come on. He goes, it's the last one. I was like, oh, fuck. Yeah, no, I can't do that one.
Yeah, I find I had a rough night on the grape ones, to be honest. So
Oh, really?
yeah, that
Well,
ruined
that
it for me.
explains it.
That ruined it for me.
That explains
That and Fireball, can't do it.
Really?
Can't do it anymore. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
There was one night at the local club around here, Empire, back when it was actually called.
That's
Empire. What's it
the
called now?
Trickster
Yeah.
special.
Is that where you were that night?
Yeah, that was where I was.
Yeah, I remember that name. I remember that name.
And they were doing what was it? It was like 2 Fireball shots for $10. But
Oh, good value.
me and my mate I went with, he knew someone behind the bar. So she lined up 5 for $10.
Oh,
That is a bargain.
And so we threw the 5 back,
change menu.
left and came back, got another 5, and then she was making us. She called them an apple pie, so it's apple juice and Fireball, and the cinnamon and apple juice make it taste like an apple pie.
There you go.
Got home in rough shape,
Really?
really rough shape. So
Yeah,
have not drank Fireball since.
The Empire Emperor. Oh, the Emperor of Empire.
Oh, not good.
I can't do Fireball either.
It's terrible.
Yeah.
Well, hope the
Do you
Up the
boys
Guts
done
community.
Fireball?
I don't mind a Fireball. Yeah, I'll have one here and there.
Last time I had one, we were doing them one night, weren't we?
Yeah, I think you were.
Yeah, I can't remember.
Then
what
they-
it
then they
was.
shot
I'm
off.
not a big drinker, to be honest. I
Yeah.
probably sound like an alcoholic, but I'm not a big drinker, to be honest.
I'm not social, man. Like I won't have. It's not like I'll have one like at home. If I'm sitting at home, I won't crack one open. It's
Yeah,
just more
no,
like
I don't do that.
boys want to go out. It's like, oh yeah, I'll have a few. You know.
Yeah.
I can kick back. I can kick back with the game of FIFA and 2 or 3.
cold one.
Yeah, I can.
FIFA.
Or
You
if,
ever-
if the footy gets too close, sometimes I'm like, give me one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Salah.
Or you would have
The
been
old
nervous
man's
grand
Salah.
final day.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah, you're pies, aren't you?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. Jeez, you still must be happy boy.
Oh, I'm very, very happy. Well, he ran to the G after and got me a poster.
Really?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, yeah, cool. Yeah, right.
Just ran there.
Are you a players man too or no?
Nah, Hawthorn.
Oh, Hawthorn, right.
We're talking about footy on the way, actually, because we weren't sure where this conversation was going, so I'm sure
Brush
there'll
up.
be some footy chat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, what were you guys talking about?
Oh,
Oh, well, we won't like this. We're actually discussing how shit football. No, not how shit, but we're like, wasn't like the 2012 to about 2016 era just so dull? Like
Yeah.
for us, we're like talking about
Not for you.
not for you,
Yeah.
but our memories,
13, 14, 15.
but our memories, and then we're like those Hawthorn years. Yeah, I just didn't really love. Well, you would have loved 16. I just
Yeah,
forgot,
but they were unbeatable.
Yeah.
Like, they were so good for so long.
The old Hawkers.
Similar to Richmond, but
Yeah.
Richmond played exciting footy. But yeah, I wonder if their pies will go back to back.
Oh, I don't want to say anything. Like, I just really don't want to. I saw someone say Carlton should be flag favourite.
I did. I
Yeah,
saw that as well.
Sam McClure said
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Saw that. And
Came
Dan,
out-
Dan Gorringe reacted to it. He goes, well, now it's not happening. It's not going to happen now.
Probably won't now, honestly. Yeah.
We'll go over a few of some of the key episodes that you had last year. Some of the guests. Do you want to kick off the
Yeah, sweet.
first one? We'll discuss the episode and what you guys experienced with that person and some of the stuff.
Love
on
it. Love
So
it.
the first one you had, your 164th episode, was with Sam Newman. Do you want to run us through that?
Oh, the
Sammy,
Foss.
The Foss.
That was. I'll give you guys a quick backstory with that one too. So, and you guys will know this. When you're getting guests on the show, there's different methods for different types of people, right? So
Yep.
sometimes you might go the old Instagram. Sometimes you might go the if you get a phone number, the text message. Some people like LinkedIn. Some people you just you have some kind of mutual connection. It's quite easy. Now, young Samuel is very old fashioned, so he requires a phone call, and we knew this going into it. And Dos had his phone number in his phone from a contact from way back. And we knew that in order to get Sam, it would require probably a phone call. Now, Sam's probably not the warmest of blokes when you give him a buzz, but Dos anyway sent him a text. And how long? What was it? A few minutes later.
No. I reckon it was a couple of weeks, or maybe a
Really?
week. Yeah,
I thought it was really
Or
rapid.
maybe it was. Maybe it was that day. From memory, I don't think.
I just remember the phone just rang and Dos
No. Did it ring?
I think.
No, so what happened? No, so so basically, I was on the Gold Coast, and I was with you. Sent him a message, and then like I think a week later he replied, and he said, "Yeah, how are we going to do this?" And then I said, "Yeah, let's lock it in." Blah blah blah. And then he rang me, and he goes, "Well, what does lock it in mean?" You know? And then we organised. Because he obviously has his podcast. He cannot be serious, and he records that out in Port Melbourne. And he said, well, we had another podcast lined up that day with another player manager, which actually didn't go through in the end. But yeah, we organised it at his studio, rocked up there, and a videographer came along, and we actually got there right on time, right? 9 o'clock. And we get there, and his PA it was someone that... So basically his studio was underneath like an office.
Yep.
So someone was rocking up to the office, and we're waiting for Sam. Where's Sam? And she goes, I'll ring him. And he actually thought it was 10 o'clock, not 9 o'clock.
So we could just hear through the phone, oh, fuck. Like I thought it was 10 o'clock or whatever.
Nah, he was a ripper.
But he was a really nice guy, and we had a great... for us, it's probably it's definitely probably in our top 3 or 4 downloaded podcast ever.
The highest YouTube,
and we don't really focus too much on YouTube, but it's definitely our highest YouTube one. And with him, like again, we didn't know where it would go, because at the time it was around finals with footy, and I don't know if you guys remember, but he had some controversial views knocking about at the time, and we recorded with him. We kind of released a teaser or photo saying, coming next week, but then that weekend he went off and made those comments, so people just automatically assumed that he said it on our show. So we copped all this kind of backlash, but with controversial kind of topics and controversial people, and he's obviously very opinionated, that's what helps grow your audience. So,
exactly.
So people just loved, and he didn't say anything too bad. And most of the time it was just, we had a laugh. We kind of knew some of his key stories and just set him off and let him go. And the feedback for that was unreal. And definitely for us, like we're probably a bit older than you guys, but growing up, Sam was big influence. The footy show was massive. Yeah. Sam was a big influence on us. So to sit across from him was just it was so fun, wasn't it?
Pissing our pants laughing.
Yeah. What's the saying? Any publicity is good publicity. They say that's Sam Newman to a T.
Spot on.
One of the best. I don't know if you guys can retell as much as you can remember, but his Jason Dunstall story.
He shared that on our episode. I don't know if you listened or heard it, but the chief. I'm going to do it zero justice by re-explaining the story, because I'll encourage everyone listening to this to maybe go and check it out. But essentially, Jace and Sam worked together in Triple M, and what are you talking? And the footy show as well. But at this time, I don't think they were on the footy show together anymore. I think that the chief kind of left the footy show, and
with Triple M, I think.
Yeah, the Triple M they were together, and Chief was the CEO of Hawthorn, or the chief of Hawthorn, and one day they were Sam just randomly he goes, Chief, don't take any offence to this, but you look like an ape, he said.
And he describes it to a T. He goes through all his physical features, and he basically says, apart from having what's it called, opposable thumbs.
Opposable thumbs.
He basically resembles an ape-like creature with his beady eyes and his lack of neck and his body shape and everything. And
one thing Sam did say, he goes, just to clarify, he's a Caucasian, just to not get in trouble. But that was the story, and he has a whole bit on it. So if you went and saw him at a sporty night, he'd probably share that story.
Almost word for word.
Yeah.
He was unreal, and just how unfiltered. Quite frankly, just doesn't give a fuck.
No,
but he's a very, very smart man too.
So intelligent,
and very, in fairness, very, very nice. Like very, very friendly. Like makes you feel like you walk in and you're a bit on edge, obviously, because it's him, and he definitely marches to the beat of his own drum. But he makes you feel good. It was, I think once we kind of finished and wrapped up, he was kind of like, all right, boys, off you go. But but outside of that, no, it was a great experience. So we had a ball.
And another one that you had was, and I listened to this and I couldn't believe it. You had David the Medium connecting with the afterlife. I was like, what the fuck, when he made that observation of you straight away at the start of the episode. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Well, yeah, that was nuts. Again, like
he read your minds, didn't mind reading thing.
Well, yeah, he did what's called a reading, which is basically in his. I mean, again, it probably sounds bad. I'm still somewhat skeptical. I should have no reason to be, because I saw it happen right in front of my eyes. But again, we've tried to really, for our show, especially in the past year, we've tried to turn it into an entertainment show. So it's not just sport, it's not just business, it's not just entertainment. And I think a key element is getting people that come on that are somewhat people curious about. They may disagree with it or they may have no understanding, but it's somewhat interesting. And for us, it was just eye-opening. We were very naive going into it. But again, we shook hands with him. We sat down and within like 2 seconds, he makes that observation and it just did not stop. And then Dos asked right at the end, hey, would you mind reading us? Which, by the way, is not cheap to go and get it done by him. And again, we sat there, we let the cameras roll for about 30 minutes or so.
Yeah.
And it was unbelievable.
And he's just
wasn't
a lovely guy, just a great bloke. I think for anyone that might be skeptic as well, I think that was the biggest learning point of it. We were both skeptics of anything like that. And when you kind of open yourself up to it and you just listen with zero judgment, you kind of...
He was local to this area too, was it?
He mentioned Berwick.
Yeah, Berwick, yeah. That's the one thing I did pick up on.
Yeah, so he... but that's the first night he went to learn about it, or he went to... I'm imagine like our mums, how they used to do Tupperware nights or Nutrimedics, or I think these days... anyway, but... Enyo. Well, basically, it must have been like a night where people could go, and the lady from Berwick who was a psychic medium, and he went, and he went in as a skeptic himself, and then at the end of it, she actually said to him, you can do this yourself, and he was kind of like, bullshit, and then he started learning how to do it. I think that was like a long time ago as well. So, but no, he was a ripper, really lovely guy. We went out for dinner with him a week later as well, and it was actually really interesting. You could see he can really separate like himself from, like, because we thought, if we're sitting there having a dinner with him, is he going to be like...
Is our ancestors going to be there? Yeah.
Yeah, but he completely separated us and we were friends, and it had nothing to do with...
So separate
his ability.
Work and life, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you mentioned you're still skeptical. Are you still... Or
I would say...
Or did you pick stuff up that you're like, wow?
I would say I wasn't after it, but I think after talking to a few other people... Like, so some people were like, wow, 80% of people were like, that was fucking insane. Mm-hmm. Everything he said, some of the things he knew, nicknames, dates, certain things that just, you couldn't even go to Instagram or social media of anyone in my family or Daniel's family, and he knew it. But then you hear one or two people say, but, come on. Like, he could have found that somehow. He could have gone back years on your page and then that kind of makes you go, oh, shit, maybe they're right. But no, I think I'm more of a believer than a non-believer.
I think it's more just like as time goes, like when you're sitting there, like I remember once he left, we sat on this couch, which is in the studio behind, and we just sat there in silence for like 20 minutes. And we're just like, we were speechless. So right then, and I rang my parents and I actually took the unedited version straight to my family and showed them, and they were just blown away. But I think as time goes on, just because you revert back to that mindset of, well, how could this be? Like, but when you're right in front of him, it's just, it's nuts. But it was just, honestly, it was insane, like incredible.
Have you ever had any readings done or even hypnotized or something?
No.
Because I know when I have ADHD, and it ties in with a bit of anxiety too. So when I would have probably 16, maybe even a little bit younger. It would have been the mid to end of high school. I did some hypnotherapy, and I reckon, so I personally think it didn't work, but I think, and what Mum has explained to me too, because I went in with the mindset was like, this is not going to fucking work, this is not going to work, this is not going to work, and didn't give it a go with a clear mind, of course it didn't work.
Yeah.
I feel like because I didn't go in with a clear mind, if that makes sense, you know what I mean? Like,
100%. Well, the funny thing is too, like afterwards, and this happened, we had a magician on at the start of this year as well. The amount of people that accuse us of setting it all up, like we fed him information or we told him what to say. We told like people write all these, same with the magician, saying that we knew we picked a specific card or we thought of the specific thing to kind of lead him on. We're like, that is like so far from the truth. It all happened live and in front of us. But I get what you're saying. Like if you're closed-minded to it, it makes it difficult. But again, we probably both went to the interview closed-minded and came out open-minded. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, not closed-minded, but skeptical.
Yep.
So you, going back a little bit from that episode, you had an Iron Man and the Nutri-Grain Golden Boy on.
Oh, yes.
Matt Bevilacqua.
Yeah, I was going to say the name, but I knew I was just going to butcher that last name. So
I was like, is Will going to have a crack?
No
that was
chance.
The one that you said,
chance.
Was it D or Dos that said you had to practice it a few times before saying it?
So
D.
Yeah. So we often just, again, we don't we don't tend to have too many notes. Like we'll obviously go over some things before the show, but typically the only thing we ever ask each other if we're nervous is, right, who's going to do the basic welcome and who's going to introduce the guest. Who's going to introduce the guest and who's going to ask the first question, just so we're aware of that. And then I feel like I seem to always get the tougher names but I was actually doing these ones. I'm going like Bevilacqua, like I'm like clapping it out.
Sounding it out,
And but no, in the end, it just rolled off the tongue quite nicely. Yeah,
he was a really, really great bloke. That was while I was up on the Gold Coast. And yeah, he met up with us, and it was literally he was just like us four boys. He was just happy to have a chat, loves his footy, from Tassie, and generally just wants to chat about footy. Goes for the Bombers, and then once the cameras are rolling, talked obviously about his life and his journey into becoming an Ironman. But then he opened right up about, you know, how much he gets paid when it comes to winning an Ironman challenge, and how challenging it is for some guys. You can be in the top 10, like say you're 5th to 10th, and you still have to go to work every day. Mm-hmm. It's the top 5 that probably get paid the most that can do it full time. So we learnt a few things, and he was just a lovely guy. We still stay in contact with him, and I think we're going to maybe do an Ironman challenge with him as well.
Okay,
DOS VD
nice.
challenge. So
Yeah, because if you've read that too, Will, he was actually a handy footballer. He won it in his last year, I believe it's his last year of footy. He won a league BNF, and second place was Hugh Greenwood.
yeah.
But he did say
Must have been pretty handy.
He did say Hugh Greenwood had a lot of, I think, Australian basketball commitments, but he goes, I'll still take it.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, he's a Tassie boy too. So the biggest thing I got out of that interview too was like becoming an Ironman. Like when you think of those kind of sports, you think Gold Coast and Brisbane and maybe Perth, but you don't think Tassie. So for him to get into that sport, like he would be getting up in the morning, like minus degrees weather, and he'd have to literally like get the ice off his boards and like go into the water at that, like it's like still dark outside and down rivers, and it's just a crazy story, and it's amazing to hear what you're capable of with the right mindset.
And then you also had Robbie Mills, the ultimate entertainer. That was a fun one, wasn't it?
Millsy's a classic. He's funny, tricky. He was someone we always wanted to get on. And we tried to get him on, and it just never happened. And give
him an exclusive. Because we spoke about this on the drive up. Give him the couple minutes before the show.
Yeah, this is good. Actually.
This is a little exclusive for you.
So
lads.
one thing, boys, we were talking about on the way, and it wasn't in preparation for this at all. But we were saying we should actually do an episode of the amount of times we've stuffed up the intros. I don't mean like. I don't mean welcome to the show, Will and Tricky. I mean, when a guest arrives, something awkward always happens.
Yeah.
Like you're meeting someone for the first time, and just something that you might not think, but maybe we're too excited, maybe they're too excited.
The handshake for the knuckles.
Well, things like
So
that.
many of those.
Things like that. So basically with Millsy, one of them was Millsy came, and Millsy was such a lovely fella. Really, really appreciate him coming on the show.
Came in on a scooter.
Yeah, on one of those e-scooters. And where we are, it's down this little alleyway in South Melbourne, and it doesn't look shady or anything, but it's not clearly laid out, or there's no clear sign at the front that says, podcast studio this way. It's kind of this weird looking factory. So you're kind of keeping your eye out, but the end of the alleyway, it's too far to go. If I'm standing at the door and he's at the other end of the alleyway and we see each other, you have to wait there for like a good 30, 40 seconds for him to walk down. So it's like an awkward kind of time for them. Like you go, yeah, we're here. And then you wait for him like this, and you're like not looking at him, and like you know, and then so that happened, and I actually went to shake my hand, and he said something, and I thought he introduced himself, but he said, "Do I have time for a quick coffee?" Like quick coffee, and I said, "Wade, nice to meet you." And he went, "A quick coffee? Can I get a?" I'm like, "Yeah, it's fine." And
you're like,
idiot. Yeah, literally, I was like.
But then he goes off, and next door to where we record is a coffee shop and a bagel shop. So he goes off and he comes back with these like 2 massive bagels, because this was like the first interview we were doing of the morning. So it's probably 10 in the morning or something like that. And he sits down in the chair where we're about to record, and he's tucking into it, right? And he's like got halfway through, and he goes, "Oh, sorry, boys, that's a bit rude." He goes, "Do you want a bite?" Like a half-eaten bagel of Rob Mills. About, "Nah, mate, nah." But then we just as soon as he left, we just started going on like talking like, what would have happened if we took a bite? Like imagine if you took a bite out of his hand while he's like holding a bagel in your face. But luckily, we declined that one.
No.
Yeah, but what about the funny story he shared? Was it the time when he was supposed to go up naked?
Oh yeah, so it was he did a show in Perth. What was it called? The show in Perth?
Oh, I can't remember. Yeah.
I can't remember. Do you have it there?
No, I don't think I have the show.
I can't remember the show. Is this the story? Is this
Yeah,
the one
yeah,
you reckon
yeah.
Tricky's referring to? Yeah. He, I think
The
part
dress
of the
rehearsal, I think.
Yeah, part of the show is it's not all about nudity, but it's about accepting nudity. I'm pretty sure.
I think it was made. Yeah, I think it was what he said. I think the show was actually written in the 60s or 70s,
right.
and it was supposed to be quite provocative for the time and something like new, and we're outrageous and we're doing something that. And part of it was that they were going to do a scene where they'd basically take all their clothes off. And reveal just for a second to the audience, just stand there, basically flash the audience, and then the lights would come down. That'd be the end of Act 1 or whatever. But he said there's no socks and there's nothing covering you.
No backlight.
Yeah, there's no backlight. That's the point of the show. It's supposed to be like very freeing and do you want to continue?
Well, what are they called? Is it like a mezzanine? What's like?
Like the second level. Yeah, mezzanine.
Yeah. So if you were like on the second level, there's like another part of it where only the actor can go to, and he was at that little part, and he had to sing a bit.
He had the last line. Yeah.
He had the last line, and he had to obviously drop his pants for that last line, and his pants drop. But then he forgot to attach. What was it? He forgot to attach. Like the mic, and you've got like a big heavy bit that might sit on the back of your pocket.
Yep.
He was meant to hold on to that, I think, and it just stayed, and so it went with his pants.
Yep.
So the mic fell back, and then the act stopped, or the song finished, but the spotlight was still on him, so he had his junk out, but no one was saying anything, and then he had to bend down and like literally moon the whole audience while the spotlight was still on to pick up the mic. And he said it was the most awkward thing ever, and then they got backstage, and the director was like, "All right, that's it. Like that part from now on, you're not going to take your pants off." Like, yeah. But no, Millsy was good. He was good fun.
That is a train wreck.
Yeah, definitely.
And the last one was, you mentioned it earlier, but how open, honest and raw was Josh Dunkley? That was amazing. Listen.
Yeah,
Dunks was, again, well, that one was that was actually in Brisbane, that one. So he was it was quite early on in the season last year. So we're lucky to get him, and he was literally flying to play Carlton that night or something. But that was our first Gold Coast
Just
trip.
on that, do you go through Dunkley or his manager for that?
That was through
Connection.
That was through a connection
Okay, yeah.
line.
Yeah.
So, I've worked in the sports and entertainment industry for a long time, and my dad previously, and that was just through someone I knew, and I actually got him to just email introduce me. I said, "Hey, can you email introduce me to Dunks?" He was like, "Yeah, mate, no worries," and he did it, and Dunks replied straight away. So it's almost like if it's coming from a good source, they will do it.
Yeah.
A trusted source like that guy, he'll go, "Oh yeah, well if he he gave us a really good write up about us and said, they're giving a red or crack." He's like, "Yeah, no worries. Let me know when they're in Brizzy."
Yeah.
And it literally, and that happened literally, it was probably 5 days after that email. Because we're going up anyway, or Dos was up on the Gold Coast and I was flying up, and our videographer came with us. And that was the first of, as we explained earlier in the show, when we're doing these every couple of months on the Gold Coast kind of thing. And we're like, we just need one, because especially back then we needed to batch interviews, otherwise we'd be in trouble because we wouldn't be in the same state to record. So we're like, we desperately still need one more, and we couldn't believe that it came through with Dunks. But again, like you asked also about different studios, it's always risky when you're interstate and you hire somewhere and you just don't know what you're going to get. So we decided to splash the cash a little bit on this one and make sure that we've got a good solid setup, which we did. And it was in Brisbane, and he was lovely. He came in, he had a really good open chat, and lovely bloke. As soon as the mics turned off at the end, some guests are like, "Oh, see you boys, like nice to connect," and off they go. He's hell, like we literally got the tap on the door from the people that work there, and like, all right, everyone's going home now. Like, you guys got to get out. So
He's like being that country boy too, because as he is, being that country boy, they're always so community based.
Well, I reckon it was a good 45 minutes to an hour after the interview, and just genuinely wanted to know about us, but also he got a lot off his chest too, like stuff that he probably wouldn't necessarily share on air, and nothing. Some things we were like, "Oh wow," but a lot of stuff I think the media know, but he can't just say it.
Yeah.
Like about the doggies and why he left, and like I think there was a lot of things going around about the culture within the club and whatnot. But I think they're all things that everyone kind of already knows.
Yeah.
But yeah, he didn't say anything. But it was just a ripping, like you said, Tricky, a country boy who wants to give back.
Mm-hmm. And it was I actually found it very intriguing to listen to his views on players in the media and clubs allowing the fan access, how much he thinks that needs to be more, because fans are what drives the clubs really. So I know more inside videos, and I don't know if you guys have been watching on YouTube lately. Have you been watching Hawthorne's YouTube videos?
no.
Like, have you seen?
Yeah, like the day in the lives and stuff
They've
like
been doing one nearly every day or every second day, like just a day in the life, and it's a different player who's leading it every
Smart.
time.
I think it's once a week.
Yeah.
Or maybe twice a week.
Because CJ did one.
CJ did one because he's in Qatar at the moment. doing
Oh, cool.
A bunch of injury management stuff over there. But yeah, they do it with a lot of because we've got such a young core.
Yeah.
I think they've started to do it to like watch the build up of the players over the years.
On the Hawks, I have to just say this. You are
I know what you're going to say.
Of James Sicily.
Yeah.
I normally get Trelaw over Sicily. Like if someone looks at
James
me,
Sicily. It just hit me when you said CJ. I started thinking of
He gets the
Hawks.
Trelaw comment. I reckon he's got about 10 of them on TikTok. Is this guy
Yeah.
Adam Trelaw?
yeah, but I get Trelaw like even
Really?
out in public all the time.
I see.
Really?
Like for most random
I can
place
get
I've copped it.
I-
I was at the Foo Fighters concert, and a random bloke just walked past. He's like, "Sorry, mate." I'm like, because he looked at me and I'm like, "Oh, do I know you?" Sort of thing. And I'm like, he's like, "Nah, sorry, man. I just thought you were Adam Trelaw."
Wow.
I'm like, Jesus.
Not to be rude, but he must be saying that you're a bit more muscly than you really are.
true,
Because
true.
Adam Trelaw, he's a solid bloke.
Yeah, but I think back on that point, like I remember actually, I reckon North was one of the first clubs to really embrace that. I remember, this is going back to Nuffy years, but like 15 years ago, I remember like 10 or 15 years ago, they did this series with Mad Jack Daw. They had one of the guys work that was in the social media department. He trained with him. I don't know if you saw this.
Yeah, I did.
He did like a day boxing and a day swimming and a day running and all this stuff. But that was a big, at the time, nobody else is kind of doing that.
Yep.
And now I feel like some clubs are embracing it and some are not. And that's what Dunks is kind of talking about is it's like most of the guys are at the age now where they're watching content. A lot of them have podcasts. A lot of them are interested in it outside of footy.
Yep.
And I think as fans, like that's what we want to see. And I personally, like we talk about it, we kind of say, look, we probably only want to interview 3 AFL players a year, like max. We don't want to turn into an AFL podcast. That's not our niche. Mm-hmm. But when we're picking those players, we talk about like, well, who do we want? Do we want the cookie cutter player that's might have a big name but it's going to say all the right things? Or do you want somebody with a bit of flair that's going to, again, we don't want them to say anything that's going to get them in trouble, but something that's going to actually... It's just them being themselves and being real.
Yeah.
And you can see the difference. And now you can see this big shift where the younger guys coming through are more open to the idea of the whole media landscape and showing their true personality. And I think it's way more engaging.
I think all of us, I don't know, we'll listen to you boys, I'm sure it's you guys, but access is what you want to watch. Yeah. So you want access. So every other sport in the world, like I'm sure I don't know if you've watched like the Wrexham documentary, like of the soccer club over in England, or
a lot of people on the Drive to Survive.
Yeah, Drive to Survive. Or what's that Netflix documentary came out about quarterbacks in the NFL?
Yeah.
You know, access is everything at the moment. So in the AFL, unfortunately for so long, the media has been shut out forever. Like like when you're not allowed in the locker room, you're not allowed, even after the rooms and games. Like you look at Roaming Brian, even though that's aged a little bit now because it's been around for 4 or 5 years. At the time, no one had seen that access before.
Yeah.
But now it's kind of like, no, we want more. Like we actually want to see the players' day in the life. I actually want to see what, as it CJ does, in the morning before training. Like, and I think that's why American sport is so big, because the NBA players, the NFL players, even soccer, football over in Europe, because you actually get to see what they're doing, back doors.
And they're allowed to say, they're allowed to talk. They're not so scrutinized for what they say. We're here, like, again, for everything we're trying to do, we want players to come on and speak the truth. But as soon as one comes on and says something and it blows up, then the whole industry, the whole podcast industry suffers, because then clubs suddenly start, saying, well, you got to be careful who you talk to and what you talk about. And then like our access all diminishes and we kind of take 2 steps back, because the society now is that if you say anything, like you're just eating that straight away. Like you show a bit of personality, there's a percentage that love you, but the ones that hate you have the voice, and it's just, it grinds my gears.
Well, with podcasts like us, like both you guys and us, like we've seen other podcasts have, say, a big guest on, and it's great, and it gets some views or gets some clicks, and they will ask questions that are, thought-provoking, which is great. I'm all for that. But it's taking advantage of the guest. For example, if a guest says something, then they take that video and make the guest look stupid.
Yeah.
And use that.
Cut it out.
Clip it.
Yeah, that's what we don't necessarily respect and love seeing, because as another creator or another podcast like you boys, you want to, like, if we have Josh Dunkley on, you get Josh Dunkley. That doesn't, like, you guys should still try and get Josh Dunkley, even though we've had him. Mm-hmm. So if we get Dunks and we say something and makes him look silly, and you guys are already trying to get him on,
he's not gonna
do it.
Yeah.
And that is what can get quite frustrating sometimes. You don't see it heaps, but we've definitely seen it. and it ruins it for everyone.
We've seen also people like do the right thing, come on a show when they're quite small, and then their show blows up or whatever, and then they actually disrespect that guest that came on, and that to me that irks me. Like really, like despite what happens, like almost just if something bad happens in the media. Suddenly they're like, all right, we've got to disassociate from this guest, and they're talking shit about them when they were doing you a favour. You know what I mean? Like,
well, it's a bit different. Well, not really, but do you guys watch a bit of YouTube? Do you watch much YouTube or grow up on watching YouTube?
Throw it on my
Sidemen?
Yeah, of course.
So
I love Sidemen.
recently on their recent video, one of the, they did a, pretty much these grandparents would rank them on like certain topics, then they got kids to rank them. So it was different age groups, and one of their guests got a lot of hate because they thought the person was annoying, and like everyone was commenting blah blah blah, and they actually came out of their own way on there because they don't post a lot, but they came out in their own story and said, we love everyone's point of view, but we don't respect the way you're disrespecting people that come on it. Everyone's entitled to an opinion, but if it's not nice, keep it to yourself. So I thought that was really good, and it's just like using your power. Like some people, if that would happen, they would just let it and leave it in their comments and say nothing. I think it speaks more of the group as a general to come out and go, nah, fuck that. We're not copping that. And like the person everyone was digging at, she was like 13.
yeah.
So it was just like,
What's the point?
yeah. But I really like that. Did you want to do season ones or do you want to go to your one?
I'll do my one first, I reckon.
Do you want to do the season one say or skip that one?
What are you talking about? Which
The previews, or did you want to skip over that one?
I can skip over that one. We can
Yeah,
do that.
all right, we'll do your one. Do you want to grab the things that I think you put them behind you?
Hold my mic for me, mate.
No worries.
I'm very excited. What's going on?
Yeah.
Okay,
a bit
so-
of anticipation.
I don't know if you want to switch seats with me or if you trust each other not to look. But we're going to put you for a best friends test.
Oh,
Give you that one. All right.
yeah.
Did you want to switch seats or do you trust each other not to look?
I'll trust.
I trust.
Okay.
Trust. Yeah.
Will's put together 10 questions. So I gave Will the challenge.
Well done,
I was
mate.
like, I'll get the notes up. But
So
can you help me with this?
I
We'll
reckon
get together 10
like
once.
try and maybe move your chair facing me a bit.
And then what it's going to be
Still
is...
on camera, okay? I want to make sure we're not...
No, perfect. All good.
What it's going to be is we're going to ask a question and you're going to answer as in you're on behalf of each other.
Okay, so I'm answering on behalf of D what I think D would do or say.
Yeah.
or-
Yeah,
So
exactly.
if I say, if you say what team does he barrack for, I'll say Doss's
You're
team.
Yeah.
on your
Foot
yeah,
is great.
on
Foot
yours
is
would be
great.
Western Bulldogs.
Okay.
All right, do you want to keep score?
Yes, I will keep score.
Good luck. All the best.
So it's 10 questions and thought
First
it'll be
one.
something different.
I like it, Tricky. I like it.
Yeah, this is good.
I hope the markers are right because I've literally just brought them.
Oh, no.
Oh, trickster.
Oh, no.
Mine.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Is there a piece of
Is
paper?
that one there? Is that what I'm looking at there?
I think that's a. Is that a?
Nah, it's a pen. That's a pen.
Oh, okay. Well, this is great.
We got a
Maybe
bit. We
just-
got a
Great
bit.
start.
Hey,
Great start.
What about a bit of paper? Some pen.
Hang on, hold that. I think there is a bit of paper behind me.
It's literally brand new. I brought it.
That's so unlike.
Where's the
I
lid
brought it.
though?
Yeah, I know. When I ripped it off, it
there
had
no
no
lid?
lid. No,
No.
That's live TV for you, folks.
I was like, oh.
Yeah.
You got something?
Yeah, hold that.
There we go.
Can you use that? There's a marker up here. Oh, no. I lost, actually. Nah, marker's under there.
Oh, I love this.
Where is it?
Is there maybe a pen over there? Does someone live here, Tricky?
No, not at the moment. No.
Done.
There we go.
There we go.
There we go.
What a stitch up!
Improvising on the
What a
fly.
stitch up!
Oh, that's unlucky.
Literally, remember I told you? I reckon I brought it.
You know what? You might want to use that
Yeah,
board
for the backing.
just so I can't see.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I reckon I brought it Monday.
Monday.
Yeah, I was like,
Did you
oh.
take the lid off on Monday?
No, it's been in the plastic.
Dried up for good.
It's been in the plastic the whole time.
So do we
Nah,
have to
you guys can leave now. Honestly,
do we have to put our proper answer too, or just what we think of each other?
So you'd probably know your answer. So if they're wrong,
so we don't have to write it down. Okay, cool. All right.
All right, so the first one, it starts sort of easy and it gets progressively harder. So
Let's try the
first
pen.
one.
Maybe want to try the pen too first. Okay, we're good with the pen. We're good with the pen.
Perfect.
All right, finally. First one. What's the other's birthday?
Easy.
Yeah. I used to struggle with this one, boys, for a long time.
Don't forget to keep tally here, Trick.
Oh,
What do you want to do? Show the camera? Show you guys how
Just
we're doing this?
Show you guys?
Show us.
All right.
And all right, so
so D has gone with
18th of the first.
18th of the 1st, 1995.
Correct.
That is correct.
And I've gone with...
16th of Feb, 1995.
Well done, Dossie.
No, so that's one each. Good
One
start.
each.
I used to always struggle with that.
Yeah,
I only
so-
learnt recently.
Second question. Favorite food? Just flat out favorite food.
Good, it's a good one.
Gosh.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, Dos loves his food.
I do.
Oh no. What's your favourite? Shit.
I've got mine.
I don't think I'm right here. I'm going with.
You go first.
Pizza. Would that be right?
I love pizza.
Do you have an answer in your head though?
No, I don't.
Dos doesn't even know.
I'm going to give you that. Yeah, I'll give you that. I'll do
You give me
like
half a
pizza.
point.
I'll give you half a point. And I've got Wheat Bix.
No, I was thinking sushi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he eats a lot of Wheat Bix.
So it's 2-1.
No, you said half a point.
Give me
Yeah.
half.
1.5
Alright,
to 1.
1.5 to 1.
All right.
Third, favorite chocolate bar.
Ooh. I've changed recently, so good luck.
Oh, yeah? Oh, geez, I'm between two here.
For yourself or for me?
No, for myself. Pick one. I've got one.
Trying to think. We used to always go down the street and he'd love a chocolate. Oh, I'm going to go with it. I don't know why.
All right. What am I going to go? I'm going to go...
Mine's changed recently, so good luck. It's very obscure.
Is it?
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'll just go random.
Yeah. If you get it, I'll be surprised.
All right. You go first.
I've gone with the old cherry ripe.
Yeah, you've got it. Yeah. And mate, I wasn't going to put this, but I thought, it's obscure. I've got Bounty Bar. Do you like it?
It's actually a 12.
A 12?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
I would
yeah.
never guess that.
Yeah, I know. You know why? My grandma buys us. I go visit my grandma once a week, and she buys the old Cadbury favourites.
Ah,
And
yep.
the 12s are a recent addition, and I always pick those ones out. So
Nice.
you weren't supposed to know that. So
Okay.
yeah.
Fourth question.
All right.
What's the other's best sporting achievement?
Oh,
That's a good question, Will, because
Yes.
he's won a few flags, I know that.
no, we're not about flags, mate. We're about individual honours.
Individual accolades. I think I know.
What's your best sporting?
Yeah, mate. Well, actually, I know mine.
Yeah. All right. I'll go.
But I reckon you won't get it.
All right.
I'm going to go...
At the moment, it's 2.5 to 1.
Say it's... If it's like a... Do I have to say like what year level he was in? Or,
No.
So you go, D.
All right. I've gone with the under 17s return and flag when he came back from a knee injury.
Yeah, but I didn't play.
Did you play the
nah,
game? Oh,
no. I played games in the season.
What was it?
I actually put under 12 state tennis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
That's
fine.
not bad. Under
Wow.
12.
Yeah.
What did you put?
I put footy best and fairest.
Nah. Only ever got a runners up.
Did you? Huh?
Yeah.
Oh, so is it the school? Is the school best?
I would say my runners up would be my best accolade.
Because actually, the first time we met was we played a school footy carnival, and it was just within the school that we weren't playing other schools. It was like houses versus houses.
Yep.
It was pathetic.
And Daniel Schiller was wearing tracksuit pants, footy boots. I was in my full footy kit
No runners, mate.
and runners. You were in runners, and he got best footballer of the tournament, and he was in runners and trackies.
Dominated. And it always downhill from there.
Yeah.
All right.
Next one.
You got the score?
What's the score, Tricky?
So none of you got that one right, did you? That's still 2.5 to 1.
Okay. Yeah.
All right.
I've still got this, Dos.
We're halfway now.
Yeah.
What's the other's favourite memory with each other?
We were talking about memories today, but it was about the group of mates. Favorite memory.
GD was quick.
Yeah.
What's my What would you think my favorite memory is? That's the question.
Yeah.
What would you think my favorite memory is?
Sometimes I think you're better off just going what your favourite memory is. Because then you're going to overthink it.
That's kind of what I've done here, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because if it was a good enough memory, you'd both have the same one.
True.
True.
We've just had a lot, haven't we, Dos, over
Yeah,
the years?
a lot of memories. Yeah, I've got one. All right,
Alright.
you go.
There we go. I've gone the England trip.
Oh, I can't believe I didn't think of that.
Yeah.
But that would be up there. I put FIFA nights at Jai's.
Is anyone right?
No, that's not
Probably
mine.
no.
I put mine. That was mine.
Yeah.
Okay, yep.
Yeah.
So still 2.5
That's
1.
that's a good question, Will.
What would be your favourite memory though?
Yeah, what would it be?
Oh, England.
England? Okay.
For us.
Yeah, mine probably. Oh no, I'm going
You
there.
can't give me the point now.
Sixth question. What was the other's favourite episode from last year?
Oh, ripper question.
All right, we did talk about it, so I think I know yours.
Oh, no. I'm torn between two. Okay, I'm taking a risk. I'm taking a big risk here. You can go first if you want.
I've got the fossil. Sam
Fossil.
Newman.
Give him a point.
Yeah, oh, here we go. Here comes the comeback.
Yeah. Come
Well,
on.
I just wiped out Sam Newman, and I've gone with Hugh Van Collenberg.
Nah, Sam.
Oh, no.
It was between those two. I loved them
Leveling
both.
up.
Yeah, but in terms of the interview, his was my favourite by far. I've never laughed so hard in my life.
Yeah. I should have. You're right, Tricky. Always go with your
To be honest, I thought that was the question. Or did you change it last? Who was your favourite guest? I thought it was who was your favourite guest? Did you change it the last?
No,
thing?
favorite episode
Ah,
from
okay,
last year.
yeah.
It's pretty much the same question.
Yeah, same
Anyway.
question.
Yep.
Number 7.
So I'm half a point ahead.
2.5, 2.
It's coming back.
Number 7.
we go.
Best sporting moment the other has witnessed.
Easy.
Oh, I can guess. Does yeah.
Yeah.
I already know it too.
Oh.
Wait, okay, I've got to think of my answer.
Like as in sporting
No,
moment,
it's
like a
pretty
favourite
easy.
moment we've
for him, I've got. I mean,
For your
mine.
team,
Oh,
or
yeah.
like, for
Yeah.
example, mine recently, I'd say
I know
in
what-
Bali watching the Aussies win the World Cup,
Yeah,
for
okay.
example.
Don't overthink it for me, Dosh.
I think I know it.
Yeah, I reckon you might get it.
DOS is easy though.
Dosh is easy. The only thing is, he loves his World Cup football,
Nah.
soccer. But I've gone
Soccer,
with gone with the 2016 grand final for you.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've gone QPR Cup comeback win. Was
Correct.
it?
Yeah, correct.
Thought so.
Yeah.
Ooh, here we go. We're cooking now. 3.5 to 3.
Yeah.
And you were there. Were you there?
No, well, but I was.
You were there though, yeah.
I was at the game. Yeah.
Yeah.
I wasn't there for that, but I was there for QPR. Yeah.
Felt that.
Throw a blanket over it.
Question number 8. If the other could have a beer with one person, who would it be?
Probably Augusto.
Wait, I want to ask the question prior to that.
Dead or alive?
Do they have to be Do they have to be
No,
alive?
it can be anyone forever.
Who would you love to have a beer with the most? Oh, that is such a good question, Will you?
William.
I was going to go William.
Very formal.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh, what's yours, D?
I know. I've just thought of mine. Oh, okay. I'm going to go. All right.
I'm just gonna stick to.
Jeez, you've done them dirty by giving them 1. I thought you might. Oh,
Is
2 or
this
3.
the last one?
No. I'm saying.
There's still 2 more.
All right.
I've got you go.
I've gone Ricky Gervais.
You're on it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Come on.
I've got another Englishman, Charlie Austin. Did I get it?
I would love a beer with him. But I wouldn't say it's number one. I would have said this.
Who would be number 1?
Yeah, Ricky.
Yeah.
Or Robbie. I would have accepted Robbie Williams
Yeah.
as well.
Charlie Austin.
I shoot a little bit higher than that.
So 4.5, 3.
Yeah.
If I won it,
No, he's got 2 more.
Nah, it's 2 more left.
And
So
who knows? There might be some bonus points.
You'd have to get
Gotta
get none from here, and
Yeah.
you'd have to get both
Surely
of
there's a
them.
bonus point in here. Will.
You could probably cook one
Come
up.
on, Wilbur.
Probably. If the other could win one trophy or title, for example, a Premiership World Cup gold medal, what would it be?
oh no, I'm better.
Like, just
Any like sporting title
say-
in the
okay,
whole world.
Okay.
Oh, you've asked that to us before, haven't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Except I think we did a top 5. Because, we ranked it.
But you laughed at me for saying the urn.
That was number
Is
1.
this watching our team win something? Like, is that
No,
what
this
you're
is
saying?
what you. If you were a
Personally.
player of any sport, what would you want to win the most? Yeah, because you ranked
I
the
like that.
urn.
I
over
know this. I
everything
know
else.
this isn't right, Dos, but I just want to throw it in anyway.
You go for it.
All right, I've gone with the winning the Australian Open men's single final.
You know what? I'd be stoked with just a round 1 win.
Yeah,
You know,
that's not yours,
That's
is it?
not it.
What is yours, Granny?
Mine's
Bulldogs?
Bulldogs, Granny.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. What's mine?
I've put WWE Universal Champion.
It didn't even cross my mind.
No,
unfortunately.
okay, yeah.
But if you want to make it interesting, I'll give you half a point.
Okay,
Yeah,
thank you.
Yeah.
Now,
Now the question is, have you got a bonus question?
I can think of one on the fly.
Yeah.
All right.
We'll assess what the point situation is.
So
there.
I'm one.
Can
point
we
ahead.
just quickly go back to that answer, right? So D always gives me shit. So we went to the Oz Open this year and we play a bit of tennis, just like us for a hit and giggle. And over the years when I used to play tennis, they would laugh at me, the boys, because they'd go, Dos is the typical guy who, if he went pro, he would only play Australian Open because he just loves the home crowd. He just, he walks out, he loves the thought of playing for Australia or playing for his
Bit of
country.
cock and arcus and cheer Australia, get up.
Literally, just like a...
But no Middle Eastern tournaments in front of
Yeah.
12 people.
No, I'm not going to Dubai.
No, was it
You know.
WTA, isn't it? Is that what it is?
ATP.
Yeah,
ATP, yeah.
ATP tour. Yeah. All right. Last one.
Last question. Favorite,
So it's 4.5, 3.5, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah.
It's a ring-a-ding-ding.
Favorite all-time sports player across any sport can be
That's
anyone.
a good question. Jeez.
I like how you've brought it to all sports because you could have made it real easy and gone
Yeah, footy.
I feel like footy's too easy though because
Well, wait,
you can narrow it down to one club.
I'll answer
sort
it
of
after
thing.
it.
I'm gonna say.
I find it easier answering for him than I do thinking of my own answer.
Really?
I can see that. I can understand that.
I've thought of mine person. I've thought of my person.
Okay, let me think of mine. I think I know who you think I'm gonna say, but
Really?
I've chosen one. Yeah.
Uh,
Oh no, I haven't picked yours yet.
I was going to say, like,
I'm thinking of my own.
I was going to say, you haven't got pen to paper or anything.
I'm trying to think of QPR players. Like he loves QPR. For those who don't know, QPR is Queens Park Rangers.
Most won't.
Fuck, I'm just gonna. This is probably generic, but I can't think of anything, so I'm going with it. But I know. I've got
I mean, it's a safe
yeah,
call.
safe call. You go.
All right. I've gone Tim Cahill.
Yeah, he's got it. Yeah, I've gone Roger Federer. I know. I couldn't think of anything.
I would have given you danger.
How do you, out of any sports athlete in the world?
Well, I named my dog after him, so
Yeah, fuck.
yeah.
Did you have
I would have
one?
given
You
you.
know what? I'm going to leave this up to you because I wrote these 10 questions. I'm going to give you for the last.
This is always a DOS.
Make this worth. How many am I behind?
You're behind by 2. I'm going to say
Okay,
this
three,
point.
2.5er.
This no. I'm going to say this is worth 5.
Oh,
Just a clean sleep. There's always. I know DOS will win from here. There's always a way. There's always a extra.
I've just got one.
okay.
Right.
What is each other's favorite movie of all time?
Well, he doesn't watch film.
This is
Oh well, I could have.
you've ruined this now. Possibly.
No,
That's a hard question.
I've got. I know my favorite movie of all time.
Do you?
I do have a favorite movie of all time.
Far out.
But yours is.
Do I know it?
Yeah. Well, I don't know if you know that it's my favorite.
Have I watched it with you?
I'm not saying anything. It's not like Mike, I'll tell you that. What's yours though? Do you know yours?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Is it the Polar Express? No.
Polar Express.
What's yours, Danny?
What's yours?
Damo.
I can't think of what Wayne's is.
I've got no clue.
Yeah, I literally have no
Okay,
idea.
all right.
I'm going to have a guess at.
No.
Yeah,
It's
go.
actually impossible. I was gonna say, if you had any other question, what would you ask?
Give me a topic that you'd.
Go sport.
Okay, go sport.
Stick sports.
Okay,
stick to
sport.
Because movies are so broad.
Yeah, it
It's
is.
Wolf of Wall Street for your reference.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that does make sense.
What's yours? What would you say yours is?
Probably Benchwarmers,
Yeah, no, I wouldn't
Step
guess.
Brothers, one of the two.
If it was
Talladega
sport.
Nights.
All right, I'm going to stick to footy.
Okay.
Okay.
If the other had to support another team, who would it be?
That's a good one.
I was thinking the
Yeah.
same question.
That's a
Yeah.
good question. Settle down, Sicily.
All right.
I can't believe how much you look like. That's fucking crazy.
If Dos had to support another team, who would he? I mean, he hates the Saints, so we can rule that out.
And I worked for St Kilda. Doesn't make sense. I reckon D would go.
Yeah.
I've gone with Collingwood.
No.
Is he going to bring it home for the 5-pointer?
Tell me who you would go for.
I'd go for Collingwood.
Not a hate job. I went Geelong.
Who's your
Richmond.
Richmond.
Yeah. Well,
Really?
the rest of my family are
True.
So
All right. Well, that's the end.
you've won it. Congratulations. Do you have a little applause button or you know?
Yeah, I do. Which
Do you
one is
actually?
it?
Oh no!
Yeah. No, I love this. I love.
It could either be no.
Yeah.
We've got to think of a new segment for that.
There we go. Well done. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
I was
Yeah,
just
we
waiting-
do need to think of a new player for that one.
I was waiting for the, you know how we have the Formula One cars?
Oh, yeah. Is it this one, I think?
Maybe. It's loud, isn't it? It's loud, isn't it?
Won't be able to hear for a week.
Well done, lads. That's. I'm glad to take that win.
Well
What I was
played.
going to say was
It's always a punishment for the loser, though.
Not today.
favourite player. Would have yours been, if I had to guess, would yours been Brad Johnson?
He always was a favourite, but I reckon Bond's up.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I love the Bond. I met him after the 2016 Grand Final and I cried. So there you go.
Bet you can't guess who mine of all time would be.
Is it Collingwood?
Yeah, it's Collingwood.
Give us an era.
Leon Davis.
No, it's not. It's in that era, though.
Didak.
No, but in that era, yeah.
Ben Johnson.
Ryan Loney.
No,
Chris Tarrant.
no.
Rupert
Good looking
Bethurst.
bloke though.
Yeah.
Swanee.
Not Dan Swan. Is it?
Really?
Oh, well, that's
Wow.
when you said, "Oh, you won't be able to guess it." I thought, "Oh, it's going to be someone who I wouldn't pick."
Yeah, Paul.
No, but
Curio.
not everyone would say their favourite player of all time was Swanee. They'd go Pendles
True.
or
Yeah, Tony Shaw, you know.
Buckley, Buckley,
Coldhouse.
Alan Tuvey.
Yeah, we're just naming Collingwood players now. Who else? Blake Carousella.
He's good.
Yeah.
Good coach now.
You'd be good on Gridley, Joss.
What's that?
You'd be good on Gridley.
Yeah, have you played that? Gridley?
Yes, I have. But you played it yet?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I sent it to you. Told you
Maybe
to
you
start
did.
playing it.
Because there's Gridley and there's Footy Grid as well, isn't
True.
it?
Same thing.
Yeah.
True.
That was good fun.
Well, we like Warple.
Warple, yeah.
Who's your favourite player of all time? Being Saints?
Saints plays Milne.
Milne, yeah.
Definitely Milne.
Does Harvey give him a run or not?
Controversial. Never a big fan of his. When I was a kid, it's just a midfielder that racks up the ball and runs all day.
Socks
It's not that
black
exciting.
boots.
Milne had a bit
Yeah.
of flair about him. You know what I mean?
Breaking. D says all Harvey did was run around and rack up the footy. No impact. I repeat, no
I'll
impact.
be honest, I don't remember banging Harvey that much. Like,
He did. You know what?
Nah, just
you know when he.
two Brownlees.
no, but like how old were you when he won the
Two
second one?
Brownlees?
wasn't
Wasn't
born
born.
yet.
Yeah, there you go. Like,
I'll tell you one story about him.
97, 98, wasn't it?
I'll tell you a nice story about Robert Harvey. So remember when he owned the house when he owned the store in Frankston? Do you remember this?
Well, yeah, because he grew up in Seaford.
Yeah, and he brought out his own shop at the Frankston.
yeah, Harvey Warren Hamill.
Yeah, but before that, he had his
Actually,
own.
yeah, I think
he
I
had
got
his own
Mum
shop.
something from there.
Yeah. And basically, Mum organised for me after school that she would take me in to meet Robert Harvey, and he was gonna. I think he was doing an appearance. He was doing like 4 till 5. He's gonna be at the shop, kind of thing. Well, for whatever reason, something went wrong where like we couldn't get there on time, and Mum didn't want to break my heart, so she rang the shop and she said, "Look, like we're due to get there at like 5:15. Like he really wants to meet Robert Harvey, blah 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 blah." And she's like, "We're going to shut the shop, kick everybody out, but just come and knock on the window, and we'll open it up, and Robert will stay behind." And he did. So he stayed.
Are you serious?
I got there.
That's-
I got there at 5:30, and there was no one there, and they shut the shop again and got some one-on-one time.
You got an
Meet
intimate
and
one-on-one.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. He was lovely. So yeah.
There you go.
So I shouldn't talk shit about him.
Who's yours? Would you be Buddy?
No.
Cyril?
No, you're going with
Silk, Burgoyne.
Forward. I'll give you
Ruffy?
that. Yep.
Yeah, Ruffy.
Ruff.
Okay,
It's
okay.
between Ruffy and Hodge. They're kind of equal for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Before that, Sam Mitchell.
Yeah,
Sam
I liked watching Sam Mitchell play.
I got to talk with him before the 2015 grand final.
Did
so
you?
that was
Really?
pretty cool. Yeah, so me and Dad got there a couple of hours early, and it was just him warming up. He was taking dribble kicks from the boundary, and like almost looked like he was practicing.
final
just-
day.
Yeah, setting it up to like the top of the square. Anyway, the ball rolled straight in front of us, and he came up, said g'day, and then he
So wait, you're on the fence.
yeah,
Yeah.
in 2015 we were sitting 3 rows back from
Wow.
behind the goal in the Hawthorn cheer squad.
Were you at that one?
I was at that
Yeah.
grand. That was my first, actually my second grand
Yeah.
final.
What were you doing just there for the grand final?
Yeah, no,
Again, tricky. If there's anything you've learned from this podcast, it's not what you know, it's who you know.
Yeah, that's fair.
Dos knows a few
True.
people.
yeah, I had someone I know who gets ex-player, a family friend. They get tickets every year,
Yep.
and what they do, which is really clever, is so they both played at Melbourne together, and they both get a ticket each.
Yep.
So what they do is they share the 2 tickets. So one year you get both. Second year you get both.
Yep.
So they just alternate who gets the tickets. And that year they got both tickets, and he gave them to his son, who I'm mates with, and he was like, "Do you want to go?" I was like, "Yeah, fuck it." And I must say it was the most underwhelming grand final I've ever watched.
What was the
Because they just smashed West
how much
Coast.
did you win that one by?
I think I had 70
40,
points.
40,
wasn't
no,
it?
it wasn't,
Oh,
wasn't that
it?
much. It was about 40.
Was it?
But it was over very quick.
Yeah,
wasn't it?
Straight away.
First quarter.
Yeah.
Pretty much
Yeah.
in the books.
Oh,
It
it's
was,
good.
but I still loved it. Like a grand final. Did you go this year? Did we already talk about this? Did you go last year?
No, I didn't get to go.
Yeah. Have you been to one?
No.
No.
I haven't been either. We're doing street talk outside at one year.
Yeah.
Well, give us an exclusive before we jump off the air. What's upcoming for Up the Guts this year? Have you got any guests any
come on.
exclusive? What's the plan? Anything big happening or any plans? Anything change of direction?
On that, do we have a gather round update?
We do,
Oh.
and it is not looking good for you.
It's fuck with.
What's the gather round update?
So, because I'm Hawks member, we got a message because it's technically Hawthorn's home game over in Adelaide. We're
Yeah.
playing Collingwood.
Oh,
So, we have 4 memberships. Dad booked 4 tickets, one for him, one for my sister, one for me, and then I've got one of my best mates who I've known since prep. He's a Collingwood supporter. So
Tricky, you've been...
No, but
You got to up his pay, mate.
I copped the message because we were talking about it, and I copped the message.
this was my bad. I'll take full
He
responsibility.
goes,
for this.
Are you still interested in coming gather round?
Yeah.
We found accommodation. I said, lock it in. He goes, sounds good. Me, you, Dad, and Jai.
And then Dad informed me that he gave the other ticket to my sister.
Would you have taken the mics over for...
A bit of gathering
100%.
fun.
Yeah.
100%.
But-
I still might do a little like
Get
vlog
yourself
style.
over there.
Yeah.
Get yourself
Just get a general admission ticket.
Yeah, come on, Duke.
It'll be
Get on the hill over there at Adelaide Oval.
You better get... Yeah, why don't you do it? Oh, I want to see Up the Gut in SA. I want to see that.
Me too.
And I'm sure the listeners do too.
Could happen.
Get it.
Come on.
It could happen.
Come on, commit to it.
Don't make me commit to it.
You'll have to look into it because
Yeah.
last I checked, tickets are pretty expensive.
Oh, you can go to it.
Oh,
Well, to be fair,
especially accommodation. Like there's
Yeah,
a hotel.
accommodation's cool.
I looked during gather round, extra $600
Yeah,
a night.
yeah.
It's
that's
bullshit.
right. I originally thought I had accommodation. Apparently, fucking not. Like,
Tricky. Go to the local hostel. You might meet yourself a lovely young lady.
Yeah. Or sleep in the car.
Just don't sleep.
Yeah.
yeah, that is true.
You can get yourself a ticket to like a Gold Coast game or something.
You could always fly in the morning of, fly out the night after.
True.
Yeah,
Like-
FIFO.
Can you imagine the flight prices?
Yeah, that wouldn't be cheap.
Yeah, true. True.
But drive. I've driven to Adelaide.
It's 8:10.
I drove to Adelaide for a wedding last year. Stayed the night, drove home the next day. Worth
Doable.
it. Huh?
It's 10, isn't it? 8,
Doable.
10
I think it was
hours?
about 8.
Yeah,
It's,
8,
yeah,
10,
it's similar to Sydney.
Yeah, doable. But I want to
what
see.
we
We want to see you over
We
there.
want to see it.
Okay.
What about guests? Can you give any exclusives?
Don't have any more lined up, do we?
As of right now, not. Other than Flanners coming back in.
Yeah, we got Flanners
Oh,
coming back.
nice.
Yeah.
was a
Obviously,
good
we had
episode.
Nick this week. That dropped.
Yeah.
As we're speaking, that dropped today.
He seems like a good bloke.
Yep.
At the moment, nothing, because footy season's coming. We don't get a lot of guests during
Yeah.
footy season. We just normally talk months outside.
Yeah.
But the odd one pops up here and there. But we've had a pretty good run of a couple in a row, so that's done well. But
Good
what
on
about
you.
you guys? What have you got coming up? 'Cause you've been changing, like, not changing, but like getting all different types of guests.
Yeah. Well, I think
That
that's
bank robber one.
Yeah. And that raised a few eyebrows. Just they had different. But again,
That would have done all right, I would have thought.
it did good. That's the point. Like I think that's the key element that Dee has spoken about a few times today. Is we want to be known as the show that talks to anyone and everyone.
Yeah.
So
Not everybody off the street.
no, but someone we don't have to just like a lot of our contacts are footy. So
Yeah.
all right, we can easily go down the footy route. But for us, we want to talk to more than just footballers.
Yep.
So there's other people out there that have a brand or a following or want to share something. So next week we've been trying our hardest, like for ages, to get someone in tennis, right?
Yep.
For so long, like someone of a name, of a profile, someone who we've would love to talk to. And finally we got someone. So we're talking to Mark Philippoussis.
Okay,
Oh,
yeah,
nice.
that's big.
Pooh.
Nice.
Yep.
Yeah. So Pooh, please don't
Don't decline now.
don't
We're gonna
decline
look
now
like
because
right
we've gone
idiots.
public.
We'll clip it up and tag it so we can't.
But we've got him, and then we've actually got player manager and SEN funny man Liam Pickering.
Oh, okay,
Oh,
yeah,
that's a good one.
Pickers.
Yeah, so they're both on the same day next week, and then we've got a few others locked in for
Throughout the year, a few business people, a few actors
Nice.
up on the Goldie, and but we a bit like you guys. We're not miles and miles ahead. We got a few yeses. We got Lawrence Mooney.
the comedian.
Oh, yeah.
He's coming over. He's actually in London now.
Does radio in London, I think.
Yeah, he comes over just for the comedy festival. So we managed to.
Does he do it over in London now?
Yeah,
Yeah, so
I didn't realise that.
We got him while he's here, which will be good. And apart from that, we'll
Just keep working hard.
Yeah, that's it.
Dream guess?
Well, you wrote down Ricky Gervais, so him and Robbie Williams
Yeah.
are two that we've said one day we're interviewing him.
Is there any sort of contact you have to either of them?
Well, we interviewed Robbie's bass player a couple of years ago.
Okay, yep.
When we went to England, didn't we?
Yep.
Nice.
And then we sort of minor connections, but it's a bit of a 10-year plan with those ones.
Yeah.
It's not hopefully in June this year. We'll just see. We'll just keep building our contact.
What about you boys? I know you guys like to do them on your own and you talk your own style of footy and sport.
Who's your dream?
We
Who's your
like
dream?
we like the guest though too. Who's my dream?
Swanee? I reckon Swanee would do it.
I reckon Swanee would be
do it.
one. I reckon would be really good because I just love his energy too. Dale Thomas.
Yeah.
It'd be good.
Yeah.
It'd be a good
It's
one.
funny. I've mentioned to D
Yeah.
how I would love to interview him as well. I've mentioned that
Yeah.
to D a few times
Because he was a gun back like
Yeah.
2010, 2011. I think Ross Lyon had him as the best player in the competition.
Yeah.
Really?
Then went over to Carlton, and I think he had injury problems after
Yeah.
that. But at that point in time, he was,
He'd be good.
yeah.
Yeah.
I just think, remember that night, was it Collingwood or Carlton when he did this? Sprinting into 50, that amazing pickup, and then he just
Collingwood, I think.
snapped it into goal. That was
Yeah.
one of the best goals I've ever seen.
Against the Saints, I reckon.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Yeah.
Wet weather, picked it up, bang.
What about you, Will? Who would you?
I-
Doesn't even have to be sport if you don't want. It could be.
One person I'd love to have on.
I think I know you're going to talk.
Who?
You're going to say Alex Volkanovski.
Yeah, I was going to say either
Yeah,
Volkanovski
yeah.
or Robert Whittaker.
Yep.
Both UFC fighters. I feel like it's something we haven't done any of,
No.
really. That sort of area
Yep.
of
Well, when
sport.
the main cards were on, I got you to do some predictions.
Yeah, but we haven't sort of reached out to... Oh, actually, you reached out to Jack Jenkins.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I'd love to have one of those guys on.
D loves the Volk too. So, yeah.
Is there a joke here?
I'll tell you off
Yeah,
air.
there is. But we'll keep it clean here.
I'll give you one more question for you boys. You give us a premiership. Who's winning the flag?
Can't say
You
Collingwood.
can go first.
Yeah, no, didn't want to say Collingwood. I'm going to say GWS.
Oh yeah,
It'll win
I
their
like
first
that. Wow.
I've got it tied between Carlton and Collingwood. I think it'll be a Carlton-Collingwood grand final.
that'd be amazing.
So-
Imagine.
It will be
You go.
I did say Blues. Yeah, I'll back in the Carlton boys.
I'm going a real smoky. I want to be a bit of a smoky.
Yeah.
I'm going to go Adelaide.
Ooh, that is a
As long as it wasn't last year when
Yeah,
the tattoo
true.
was when that tattoo was on the line.
Check sports bet for that. I'm like,
You headed it first.
yeah.
So
While we're here, we may as well go. Let's all pick a Brownlow while we're here to end it off.
Oh, lucky guess for you. He does it every year. The same bet.
yeah, I'll go Brownlow.
I've done it the last
Every
few
year.
years too. I've done it the last few years too, but I think I might go different.
He was robbed, mate, last year.
Him or Dacos.
Dacos, yeah.
There was a couple of votes when they both didn't poll.
Who
and I
won
was
it last year? I forgot.
Lucky
Chalky.
Neil.
Oh yeah, Chalky.
Well deserved.
No.
Yeah, what did he have? Like a 10-touch game and 3 votes.
No.
Who do I want to go? It's actually a really tough question this year, I reckon. But Rogue One, I'm going to go Sam Walsh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I reckon he'd be up there with the favourites, actually.
Bit of a curveball. I wouldn't have thought you'd say that.
Apparently, well, this is his first full preseason he's done in
You need a
3
team
years.
that doesn't take votes off each other.
Yeah.
I'll go Port. Who's Butters?
Butters.
I'd back Rosie to poll more than Butters,
Really?
I reckon. Because I reckon Rosie hits the scoreboard more.
I reckon they just steal votes off each other. That's sort of what
So I'm
happened
just
last
going
year.
against my own theory. Yeah.
Yeah. What about...
Go, give us something real rare.
Did
for
you
the Coleman?
pick your-
No, I was going to say Gordon.
Gordon.
Oh, yeah.
If I had to pick a smoky, I'd say Jai Newcomb. But
Yeah, he's a good player.
Yeah.
Actually. He's a really, really good player. What about...
Davis Uniacke.
Where'd I go?
There's the one.
Someone said that today on SEN, and Kane Corn's like, they won't win enough games for him to poll.
it doesn't matter.
Andy Brayshaw?
That's an all right one.
But again, they might not win enough games. But I said it down the way here. I reckon by the end of the season, Luke Beveridge will be the coach of the Fremantle Dockers, apparently.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Who do you reckon comes in for the Dogs?
What are your thoughts as a diehard Bulldog supporter? What are your thoughts?
Die
before we
hard.
end it?
Yeah. What are my thoughts about the Dogs?
Just Beveridge. No, Beveridge. Just
Yeah,
a
come
coach.
on, tell us what you really think. Because this is a man that's been banned from Western Bulldogs chats on Facebook because of
not
his
true.
controversial opinions of Luke Beveridge.
Someone actually asked me this last year in my Supercoach group. We'd catch up and do our draft, and they all hate him. They reckon, he's a shit coach. And one of them actually asked me, he goes, jokes aside, man, he goes, is he a good coach or not? And I said, look, you reckon he's probably, it looks like he's a good people manager. And
Yeah, okay.
At that year or those couple of years, like 2015, 2016, they just went from bottom of the ladder to all of a sudden, this red hot, ultra playing style attacking team. But I don't know. I think there's more better strategic coaches out there. That's for sure. And I reckon he's probably, I don't know. I reckon he was the one moving all the magnets for a long time.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
They've brought in some assistants that are actually going to kind of push against him. So hopefully that changes this year. Real Nuffy Dos coming out.
No, tell us what you really think. You want him out.
I wanted him out at the end of last year.
Yeah.
But now that he's in for another year, I have to believe in him
Back him
early.
in, yeah.
So if he makes, he's never made top 4, which I think is pretty poor. So
Well, yeah, it's got you a flag though.
From 7th, wasn't it?
true, 7th. Yeah. No, I don't want to say forever indebted.
Yeah.
But yeah, there you go.
There you go.
No, other than I've seen you've got the 49ers hat on.
Oh,
Super Bowl. Do you reckon they'll win, or is that just a fashion piece?
I've got a few actually. I've got a few 49ers hats. I've got a 49ers t-shirt.
Okay, so your team?
Yeah, they're my team.
Oh.
How are they going to the Super Bowl, guys?
I reckon they'll win.
Yeah.
They're the red hot favourite.
Tell us how were they going to do?
Well, mate, you're not going to.
Don't
I actually downloaded Madden last night on PS5. I'll bet you money.
I believe you.
Yes. So I'm going to have a bit of a play around on that. No,
He knows nothing.
I know nothing about it.
It's a fashion
Win or
piece.
lose, that's all I'm asking.
They'll win. But I don't know why I've got 3 different 49ers.
Can I ask a
hats.
question?
Yeah.
Have you ever watched a quarter of the 49ers? 1 quarter.
Joe Montana will play Ripper.
Yeah.
That's meant to, he retired many
Yeah,
years
I was
ago.
going to say. I was going to say.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it from me. That's it from me.
Well, boys, it's been good to catch up and have a chat. It's been a obviously enjoyable chat as well. Good luck for your future and your future guests. Hopefully the views just keep going up and up and up. And what is it? Club Retro. We'll see you there.
Yeah, don't forget that one. No, appreciate you having us on, boys. It's been good to watch you guys grow as well and support us along our journey, and we'll be doing the same for you guys. So we wish you guys all the best.
Cheers, boys.
Thank you.